What if I told you that most therapy arguments are about the wrong thing? CBT versus psychodynamic, humanistic versus EMDR, coaching versus therapy. And yet, in real life, people often improve across all sorts of approaches. So what's going on? Here's the reframe I want to offer you. Therapy doesn't treat a label. Therapy grows human capacities, and when those capacities rise, symptoms often fall. I'm Dr. Tony Weston, psychotherapist, executive coach, clinical supervisor, award-winning researcher, and I created the Lifelong Capacities Map, 12 capacities and 48 trainable competencies that explain what thriving is actually made of. So let me give you the real story behind what makes therapy work in 3 parts. 1. Client factors. 2. Therapist factors. 3. The acquisition and practice of key skills inside a relationship. And as we go, I'll show you how PsycheVita.com is designed to help you practice the same engine outside the room in a structured way. Part 1. Client factors, the quiet power of readiness. The first truth is this: therapy works best when the client is ready to engage, not perfectly motivated, not endlessly positive, but willing to do 3 small things. Willing to show up, willing to be honest, willing to practice something between sessions. That might sound obvious, but it's actually a skill set. On the Lifelong Capacities Map, this often touches things like 7.2, intrinsic motivation, doing it because you want your life back, not because you should. 10.2, perspective taking on self, the ability to look at your experience without becoming it. Because the moment you can say, this is happening in me, rather than this is who I am, you've already created psychological space, and that space is where change begins. Part 2. Therapist factors. Why Rogers was pointing at something timeless. Now the second truth. Across approaches, master therapists end up converging on a similar presence, not a technique, a way of being. The classic terms are congruence, empathy, unconditional positive regard. But I want to say it in plain language. A good therapist becomes a regulated, respectful human nervous system in the therapy room. They don't just analyse you, they meet you. And that meeting does specific developmental work. It strengthens things like 3.4, healthy self-worth, because being valued in real time rewrites the shame story. 8.2, somatic attunement, because your body learns it can be felt, tracked, and regulated, not feared. 1.2, adaptive emotional processing, because feelings become digestible when someone can stay with you while you have them. This is why the relationship matters, not because it's nice, because it's the environment where new skills become possible. Part 3, the real mechanism, skill acquisition in the context of relationship. Here's the third truth, and this is the centre of today's video. The relationship is not the whole treatment. The relationship is the training ground. It's where the client practices capacities they couldn't practice alone, at least not yet. Let me make this concrete. A client comes in either over-expressing feelings, flooded, panicked, explosive, or under-expressing feelings, flat, numb, disconnected. I don't know what I feel. In both cases, the skill needed is not a label. It's 1.2, adaptive emotional processing. And the relational environment helps them learn, I can feel this, name it, stay with it, and move through it. Or think about the body. Some people live in their heads and only notice their body when it screams. Other people notice their body but misinterpret it as danger. That's 8.2, somatic attunement. And in a co-regulating relationship, the body learns this sensation can be tracked. This state can shift. I don't have to fight myself. And then worth. So many clients walk in with an invisible rule. My worth is conditional. I'm only safe if I perform. That's 3.4, healthy self-worth. And the therapist's presence, consistently respectful, consistently human, becomes the lived experience that makes a new belief possible. My worth can be solid, even when I'm struggling. Now, here's the powerful part. When those three begin to strengthen, 3.4, 8.2 and 1.2, you often get a cascade because you're no longer burning energy on self-attack. You're not ignoring your body until it collapses. You're not drowning in emotions or cutting them off. You become more viable, more resilient, more alive. But Tony, what about AI? Now we have to address the modern question. If I can talk to AI and get insight and get reflection, what's the point of therapy? Here's my answer. Insight is helpful, but change doesn't come from information alone. Change comes from experience. Repeated experiences that retrain the nervous system and the self. And there are two reasons relationship still matters. First, some feelings are too big to handle alone. You need a safe nervous system with you. Second, some feelings are too distant to reach alone. You need another person's attunement to help you find them. So no, therapy isn't obsolete, but we are entering an era where the best support is blended. Technology can carry guidance. Presence creates change. And that's exactly what PsycheVita is designed to do. So what's PsycheVita.com? Really, PsycheVita is a platform built around the lifelong capacities map. Helps you do three things. 1. Identify the signal. What's happening to you without shame. 2. Map it to signals. What capacity is under strain. 3. Practice those skills in a structured, repeatable way. And for this episode, the trio I want you to remember is 3.4, healthy self-worth, 8.2, somatic attunement, and 1.2, adaptive emotional processing, because those are three of the most common hidden levers behind anxiety, low mood, shame spirals, burnout, relationship reactivity, and performance strain in leadership and high responsibility roles. If this lands, here's what I recommend. First, go to PsycheVita.com and sign up. That's the simplest next step because it's where the practices actually live. Second, use the Psychescription attached to this episode, a short guided practice you can reach for in real time. And third, if you want the complete roadmap, my book, Transform Your Life, The Ultimate Guide to Self-Mastery, lays out the full system, 12 capacities, 48 competencies, and how to build them over time. Therapy works, not because one model is magic, but because humans grow through relationship and through practice. You're not broken, you're buildable.